Francis will say Easter Mass and deliver an annual message by live stream, a first ever for the Catholic Church. And during his Holy Saturday Mass, the Pope told others to not be afraid and not yield to fear. The coronavirus is changing traditions here in Charlotte, too. At St. Patrick's Cathedral in Dilworth last night, the bishop lit the candle from outside of the church and then entered the near empty cathedral with a few clergy around. Usually there's a candlelight procession involving hundreds of people led by the bishop before the Easter Vigil Mass. Well, spending Easter Sunday at home will be a first for many, but two local churches are using the situation to come together. It's something that hasn't happened in nearly 200 years. Channel 9's Deshawn Brown has more.
The depth of what they've shared goes well beyond the brick walls of this church. Charlotte's First Presbyterian Church and First United Presbyterian have shared a history, in some ways cemented by shared pain.
Mainly because of the ways that First Pres treated people of color. And what I mean by that is, relegating folks to sit in the balcony, offering the basement.
First Presbyterian Church was founded in the 1820s. It was once home to both black and white members, though blacks were not treated equally. By the 1860s, a former slave led the charge for black members to start their own church, which now stands as First United Presbyterian. The two congregations have been worshiping separately for nearly 200 years, until now.
One of my colleagues, actually, Anna Dixon, it was her idea that we reach out to Reverend Small and First United in these moments.
These moments can best be described as a global pandemic, when a lot of churches have transitioned their services online. That includes the original First Presbyterian and First United,
after Jesus rode triumphantly into
who agreed to hold his online services together.
We never anticipated anything like this coming out of this current situation.
Back in 2016, during protests in Charlotte over a controversial officer-involved shooting, First Presbyterian sent a written letter to First United Church to apologize for their past.
That has led to more healing and reconciliation and relationship between our two churches.
It's not just with our two congregations, but I think the church universal, regardless of denominations.
And that was our Deshawn Brown reporting. One of the pastors says his mother recently had a chance to watch their service for the first time. She sent him a message that said, "This is what the church is supposed to be." If you need help finding an Easter service live stream, just open up the WSOC app. We have a list of all of the area's virtual sermons. Just search under the News tab. Well, North Carolina is now reporting more than 4,000 cases of coronavirus across the state. Here's a current look at the situation in our area. Yesterday, Mecklenburg County reported 933 residents have tested positive, including 12 deaths. And last night, Stanley County confirmed its second death from the virus. 80 people have died across the state. We've heard from some Amazon workers who say they're afraid to go to work after two more workers at its distribution center on Tuckasegee Road tested positive. It's the second and third case we know of at this location. Positive cases have also been reported at two other local facilities. A voicemail to workers says Amazon has been cleaning more frequently, as well as screening employees for fevers and giving out masks. South Carolina is reporting more than 3,200 cases. 127 of those are in York County. So far, 80 people across the state have died from the virus. All new this morning, 19 local nonprofits are sharing a $170,000 grant from the Cabarrus COVID-19 Response Fund. Our partners at the Independent Tribune report that fund was established through a partnership between the Cabarrus County Community Foundation and United Way of Central Carolinas. The fund raised $500,000 since March. Well, there's a lot of concern for long-term care and retirement facilities. The virus can spread through them quickly, just like it did at a Kannapolis nursing home. 2 days ago, we found out about the first confirmed case at Five Oaks Rehab. And then yesterday, we learned that it's become an outbreak with more than 14 new cases. Reporter Aaron Edwards has more on what's being done to protect residents and staff.
I spoke with the administrator here at Five Oaks, who said they did a mass testing of the whole facility and they're still waiting on more than half those results. Cabarrus Health Alliance says 300 Five Oaks residents and staff were tested and 190 tests are still pending. The administrator says he does expect the rest of the results in the next few days. I asked the administrator exactly how many patients and workers were tested positive and what they're doing to stop the spread of the virus, but they said that's all they can say until they get the rest of those test results. Right now, we know there were 28 new positive cases in Cabarrus County today, which county health officials say is the largest jump in cases so far. More than half of those confirmed cases are residents here, but again, we don't know the exact number. The administrator tells me one of the patients was taken to the hospital. We don't know their condition right now. The facility says it's working hand in hand with the Cabarrus Health Alliance, and Cabarrus County Health is conducting contact investigations for every case. Cabarrus County now has 125 confirmed cases. Back to you.
And we just told you about another recent coronavirus death reported in Stanley County. We learned that person was a resident at a care facility. County health officials aren't saying which facility that person was living at, but they are identifying and monitoring people who came into contact with that individual. Health officials in Rowan County also confirming an outbreak at the Citadel Salisbury. The county's emergency services would not release the number of cases at the nursing home, but an outbreak is considered 2 or more positive tests. We've reached out to the home, but have not heard back. This week, we confirmed a second veteran died at the Veterans Home in Salisbury, where there's also an outbreak. And in Ballantyne, 3 people who tested positive are being isolated at the Pavilion Health Center. In all, North Carolina is tracking 25 active outbreaks in nursing homes. We know there are 3 outbreaks in Mecklenburg County, 2 in Rowan County, and 1 each in Burke, Cabarrus, Cleveland, and Union counties. Well, big tech is helping out in South Carolina. Apple donated 100,000 N95 masks to the state to be given to healthcare professionals and first responders. And in a rare move, Apple is also teaming up with Google. They're going to use Bluetooth technology to do what's called contact tracing, which basically lets you know if you've come into close contact with someone who's tested positive. If your immediate thought goes to privacy, the company says they can do this without compromising it. You'd have to opt in or download an app, which will be released next month. Well, we're learning more about a medical group that's closing offices and laying off workers during the ongoing pandemic. We first told you about Holston Medical Group last week, and since then we've learned the group closed 10 locations. It said 35 doctors were already planning to resign in September. Since elective doctor visits are down, Holston dismissed those doctors early and laid off support staff as well. In this letter to patients, the company said these 3 locations in Mooresville and Huntersville will remain open. If your doctor's no longer with the practice, you'll get a notification in the mail next week. A local grocer is giving away free Easter lilies. The owner of Belmont Specialty Foods in Belmont bought hundreds of Easter lilies from a Charlotte nursery. They would have gone to waste with all of the Easter services canceled. Belmont Specialty Foods is handing these out, telling people to enjoy them and even consider planting them as a reminder of how the community has come together.